Okay, so welcome guys to Yin. If you have a strap handy or a belt or something that can fashion as such, that would be handy. Okay, and so for Yin, we're going to be holding these sort of more restorative stretches for anything between 1 to 5 minutes at a time. So it might also be ideal to have a couple of cushions or something handy just to pad yourself out with in things like pigeon or whatever helps you kind of just feel a bit more comfortable. So grab a couple of cushions and a strap, okay? Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to start with a little bit of pranayama, breath technique. So just come to a cross-legged or seated posture, however that feels good to be. Again, here you can come straight to the cushions now if that feels good. So just give your shoulders a roll down your back. Okay, and then just find some height through your body. Home yoga, that's my dishwasher beeping. Okay, good. I'm glad that happened now, not later on. All right, so we're going to start with the Nadi Shodhana breath. So before we begin, I'll guide you through this to just get the breath kind of settling into the body. So breathing through the nose, allow the movement of the breath to come into the lower part of the abdomen. Just finding that sense of slowing down your breath. Become aware of your heartbeat or the kind of rhythm that's moving through your body, energy that's moving through the body. Allow yourself to tune in with that more cellular level of the body. Acknowledging any parts of yourself in a physical sense that are maybe feeling a little bit tense, maybe need a little bit of extra TLC through the practice, whether that's opening deeper into it or taking care of it, sometimes easing away from hips or shoulders can sometimes feel more helpful to stay away from them. So for the Nadi Shodhana breath, it's an alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so you're going to take just your right hand, the index finger and middle finger, either tuck into the palm or rest into the forehead. Okay, so these two fingers, your peace fingers, can keep the forehead props upright, which I find quite helpful, or tuck in to the palm. So then you have your thumb against the right nostril and your ring finger against the left nostril. Okay, your little finger is just there as a spare finger, so let it be wherever it wants to be. So peace fingers to forehead, thumb against right nostril, ring finger against left. So to start with, we close the right nostril with your thumb. Take a breath in through the left. Close both nostrils, hold the breath. Exhale through the right nostril. Stay as you are, inhale through that right nostril. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the left nostril. Stay as you are, inhale through the left. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the left. Take one more round. Inhale through the left. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close both, hold the breath. Exhale through the left. Keep the eyes closed. Just allow the right hand to rest down to your knee. Just let the breath come through both nostrils. And just allow that pranayama. It's quite a balancing breath. Good for steadying the mind on account of just concentration. Also said to balance the energy channels that run along the spine, Ingala and Pindala. So from where you are, just drop your head across towards your left shoulder. Reach the right hand out to the side of you and use that arm just to encourage a bit more length through that right side of the neck. So allow your head to really hang heavy. Keep the rest of your spine feeling nice and tall. Just let the head drop. Jaw is relaxed here as well. So allow the lower half of your jaw to hang heavy. Stretch the fingers open of that outstretched right hand. As you inhale, just lift the right shoulder up towards your ear. And as you exhale, scoop it back behind you and further away from you. So just taking a shoulder roll. Just take one more breath again. So inhale, lift the shoulder to ear. And as you exhale, circle it back and reach it away from you. Then just slightly adjust where your arm is and where your head is until you kind of work into that peak of the stretch coming through that sideline of your neck. If you want to take this deeper, and be really mindful of how deep you're taking it, we will be holding it for a few more breaths. But if you want to go deeper, then just place the left palm onto the upper side of the head, just grabbing hold of the jaw hinge or underneath your ear, and just have a very light sense of guiding the ear away from the neck or the hairline away from your ear. Keep actively reaching out through the right palm. Deepen into the breath. If you're familiar with that ujjayi sound to your breath, that slight contraction at the back of the throat, maybe bring that through as well, so you feel that more grounding sensation of the breath. If the right arm starts to feel quite heavy in the shoulder, just allow the fingertips to come all the way to the floor. Wherever works for you. I'm going to take 3 more breaths. So guide with me if you can. We're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Last breath, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Gently release that left hand away from your head if you have it. Roll the chin towards your chest. Bring the right hand towards your knee. Keep the chin low to chest, just holding there. Maybe you're already feeling a little bit of lengthening through the back of your neck by really tucking chin to chest. That might pull into the upper back. Take a full breath. Feel your back ribs move with the breath. Gently bring the head back up straight. And drop the head across towards your right shoulder. Take the left hand to reach out to the side of you. Stretch the bones of the hands open. Allow the head to really hang heavy. The rest of the back stays nice and tall. So we start with just those 2 shoulder rolls. So as you inhale, lift the head of the shoulder towards your ear. And as you exhale, roll the shoulder back and reach it further away from you. Use the hand to guide that. Inhale again, lift shoulder up towards your ear, scoop it back, and then reach the hand further away from you. Let the head really hang heavy. Allow the jaw to relax. Let the face muscles relax. Again, if the neck is okay with taking more, or you want to take this deeper, then your right hand just very lightly rests on the top side of your head. So the fingers hook underneath either the jaw hinge or your ear, and just very lightly guiding the ear away from the neck or the hairline away from your ear. It's just encouraging a bit more length through the fascial tissue. Take a deeper breath, make any adjustments that you need to so that you're holding where your body needs to stretch. Again, if the left arm or left shoulder starts to get heavy, take the fingers to the floor, is fine. You're still getting the stretch. Let's take 3 long breaths together. So sink in with me if you can. We inhale, 2, 3, 4, then exhale, 2, 3, 4, inhale, exhale. Last breath, inhale, exhale. Okay, gently release the hands away from the head. Keep the head heavy for now. Bring the chin through towards your chest, so you're looking down, holding there. Keep the rest of the back straight. Just tuck the chin towards the chest. Feel maybe the stretch around the back of your neck or around upper back. Find that full feeling of your breath again as you feel back kind of broad and wide as you inhale. Okay, from here, bring yourself over into an all fours position, however feels best to get there. Stretch the fingers open into the floor. And then from here, just take a few cat-cow through your back, however kind of feels good to move. Maybe it's round in circles or rolling up and down. Just give your back some movement. Okay, from here we're coming to Balasana, your child's pose. So take the knees slightly wider than your torso, about as wide as your mat, and then fold the hips back towards your heels. You lengthen the arms out in front of you. So to start with, have a sense of the hands pressing into the mat so that it pushes the sit bones towards your heels. Feel the length around the lower back space. Then just slightly change the sensation of it. So keep the hips where they are, but have a sense of the arms reaching forwards. Forehead sinks to the ground. Let the head feel heavy. If the head doesn't quite meet the floor, bring the hands underneath your head or the cushion underneath your head as a pillow. Come back to the sensation or the movement of your breath, making sure it's feeling slow and deep and full. Wherever your arms are, keep them reaching out in front of you. Just bring the palms together and then bend at the elbows so that the thumbs hook behind the back of your neck. So from here, with the hands around the back of the head and the back of the neck, hug the elbows closer in towards your forehead, or towards your temples, sorry, and then walk the elbows further forwards and pull the armpits towards the floor. So hopefully feeling that stretch kind of around the upper arms and the armpits. The thumbs are at the back of the neck, hug the elbows in and walk the elbows away from you. Again, find the breath, feel it move wide into the ribs. Lengthen the arms back out in front of you and then bring yourself through to a kneeling position. You're going to have the toes tucked underneath, so square the knees up so they're closer together. Come onto the tiptoes. Okay, if the knees are a little bit tricky, you can place your cushion onto the calf muscles to sit onto. Maybe one is under your knees as well. Okay, this is going to really help to just soften that sort of fold of the knees. You're going to bring in your Garudasana eagle arms. So reaching the arms out in front of you. Stay on the tiptoes if you can, so feet keep the stretch here. If it starts to get too strong, you can untuck the toes or lift up into higher kneeling. Okay. So right arm underneath the left arm, and then either holding onto shoulders or find that extra wrap of your hands. Have a sense of your elbows reaching forwards and then slightly up, so you feel the shoulder blades really broaden out. Let your head soften forward slightly towards the forearms. Feel the breath move into the back ribs, the space at the back of the heart center. So while we hold here, maybe feeling this more around the shoulder blades, maybe feeling this through the feet quite intensely. Just see what your breath can release. As you exhale, your body will release tension from the muscles. So see what happens. You can breathe out through the nose or through the mouth if it starts to feel a little bit more intense. See where you can soften into, maybe around the neck or the jaw or the forehead. Take the last full round of breath. As you next inhale, gently unravel the arms. If you're still sat onto the tiptoes, just lift up for a moment. Give the feet a bit of a flatten. And then if we can, retuck them or stay in this high kneeling or flat feet kneeling as well is fine. So the left arm under the right this time, either holding onto shoulders or finding that wrap of the hands. Elbows travel forwards and then lift up, so you open the space around shoulder blades. Soften the head forwards towards forearms. Feel the breath move into the back ribs. Keep those elbows reaching forwards and up, but just see where else in the body can soften. Deepen into the breath, particularly if it's feeling pretty strong around feet or shoulders. The last full round of breath. As you next inhale, unravel the arms. Again, come into higher kneeling. Just sweep the arms up above your head. And then exhale, bring the hands to the mat. Take the cushion away if you had sat onto one. Good. Come back into that all fours position. So just as a transition, coming to a really soft downward dog. So lifting up the hips, give the feet a gentle paddle. That just helps to stretch out your knees after we've had them folded for a little while. And however feels best to get there, we're going to bring the right leg through to between the hands, coming into a lunge. So we'll be on this back knee for a little while. So again, if you want to place a cushion on the back knee or fold your mat underneath, so you have a little bit of extra padding under that knee, and take what you need with that. So one hand either side of the front foot here. Soften the hips forwards and down towards your front heel. See if maybe, if you want a little bit more extension through this, then you take the back leg another inch further away from you. So you create more space between the feet, front heel and back knee. So the fingers can reach the floor, wonderful. If they don't quite meet the ground comfortably, then rest them onto the front thigh, is fine here too. Allow the gaze to stay low. If the hands are on the ground, allow the head to hang towards the knee. Then as you're exhaling, lower belly scooping up. So you're slightly curling the pubic bone towards the navel, or slightly tucking the tailbone will be the same sensation. Focusing on the movement of your breath, the steadiness of the breath. So the last full round of breath where you are. And from here we're coming into lizard. So just bring the right hand to the inside of the front foot. The front foot is just going to walk out to the edge a couple of inches wider. You can turn the toes out slightly to help open the hip. Keep the knee close in towards your shoulder to start with. Back knee can be lifted in this pose, but generally for yin, we want to keep it nice and restorative. So keeping the back knee down will feel a little bit easier, but maybe take the back knee further away. So again, you're just lengthening the space around the pelvis. So if you're starting to feel any tension start to grip in around the hips, just keeping some soft movements, just some kind of somatic, really gentle movement through the body can help just ease that out. For some of you that are maybe more mobile, more open into the hips, option to bring the forearms down into it, maybe just outer elbow, maybe both if you're really open. And option as well to roll the front foot, so you're resting into the blade edge of the foot, the little toe edge. If you have any kind of hip or knee troubles going on at the minute, then maybe keep the foot flat. Will feel a little bit more protective for your knee or hip. So just see wherever feels good for your body. Feel free to change one kind of variation of this to the next and back out again if it feels too much. For the last few breaths here, just try and lengthen the spine into it a little bit further. So have a sense of your chest reaching forwards rather than hunching round. So if your gaze is looking towards the back knee, try and bring the gaze to look towards the top edge of your mat instead. Last full round of breath. If you're on the forearms, gently bring yourself back onto your palms. So from here, we're going to come into pigeon. So this front leg is going to walk across, so just heel toe it over, through the middle, and all the way across to the left side of your mat. Placing the knee down behind your right wrist, and the back leg reaches away from you. And if this is tricky for knees, and sometimes this pose isn't good for our knees, so if this applies to you, I'll give you a variation for this in a second. So knees towards the right side of the wrist, take the arms in front of you, forearms to the ground, maybe head resting onto hands or head resting onto mat, wherever you feel rested to be. So those of you with any tricky knee stuff going on, then the figure of 4 on your back here, okay? So lying onto the ground and your right ankle rests onto your left thigh, pulling the legs in towards your chest. Stretches into the same muscle, so wherever feels best. If pigeon is feeling a little bit strong into the stretch, then pad your right thigh with a cushion just so you're not so deep towards the floor. If you want to take it stronger, lift up and try and shift the heel further forward so your shin is more parallel with the top line of your mat, and then refold into it. Last 3 breaths or so. Gently start to bring the body back up again. So keep the legs as they are. Just lift up the back knees. Tuck the toes at the back, lift the hips. Slide this right leg out towards your left. So I'll just turn so that you can see this a little bit clearer. So the foot slides out towards the left and then sit down onto the outer side of that thigh. So keep kicking out through the heel. The toes at the back stay tucked so the knee is floating, and then bring the forearms down to the ground. Again, those of you that want to take this a little bit deeper, make sure the heel is coming up towards your hands rather than back towards your back foot. This is going to stretch further into IT band or outer thigh. And if you want to go deeper still, then the chest comes towards the floor. Left hand can reach out to grab the foot, and your head rests onto the right back of the hand. Stay with the breath. Bring yourself back onto the palms if you have lowered. So from here, take your time, move how you need to. Gonna come back into a downward dog. So unthread that right leg and sweep it back. It might not feel good. Paddle the feet out, just give your hips a little wriggle, legs a bit of a stretch. Take a deep, full round of breath. And however feels good together, we bring the left leg through to lunge. So we can, again, pad the back knee out, knowing that we're going to be here for a little while. So again, if you want to fold the mat under your knee or place a cushion under the knee, then please do take care of knees. Make sure your front knee is stacked over the ankle. And again, either hands to the floor or resting onto the front thigh. Try and keep as much distance between your front heel and your back knee as feels comfortable. So maybe that back knee can just nudge another inch further away from you. And then think pubic bone reaching down towards the front heel. Slight feeling of tucking the tailbone, so pubic bone curls up towards navel. Use the exhalations to help you with that sensation. Allow the neck to relax, the head to switch off. Last couple of breaths here. Remember to keep that soft, somatic movement through the body. It starts to feel like it's tensing up. Let it go. And then just stepping the left hand to the inside of the left foot. So you come into lizard pose. So the front foot can wriggle just that a little bit further out, so the shoulders are on the inside of your front knee. The toes can turn out slightly, and maybe the back knee can reach another further inch behind you if that feels good to go. If it feels too much, keep it where it is. Holding here. So one side in lizard can often feel quite different to the other. So just because you maybe lowered to the forearms on the other side doesn't mean that you need to on this side. Or maybe it feels more open to take each side as a kind of new sensation. So if it feels available, then dropping into outer elbow first, maybe the inner as well, maybe neither. See how you feel. Again, if knees and hips are all feeling good, then allow the front foot to roll onto that little toe edge, so the sole of the foot's kind of exposed. A little bit of rocking or swaying through the hips again, if that feels like it eases some space. For the last few breaths in lizard, just be mindful of the posture of your spine. So reaching breastbone forwards or gaze slightly further forwards so you can lengthen your back. And last couple of deep breaths. If you are on forearms, bring yourself back to the palms. And we're coming through to pigeon here. So the knee is going to come down behind your left wrist. So either just walk it over or sweep it round. So knee behind the left wrist, foot towards the right. Send the back leg away from you. Again, maybe padding out your left thigh is going to help support the pelvis here. If it feels good to drop down, then let it drop down. Again, options to do this figure of 4 on your back if this isn't feeling good for your knees. Forearms come down to the ground, maybe forehead to the floor, maybe forehead resting onto the back of your hands or a cushion. Notice in these longer holds of the posture where your mind is. Allow any thoughts not to catch on to the story of them, maybe just bring the focus back to the breath, just training the mind to come back to the breath, back to something really present. Noticing maybe the sensations through the body, noticing how the exhale enables you to let go somewhere. Maybe after these breaths here, there's room to deepen in, or maybe you need to ease out of it. Really mindful of how the body's feeling. Last couple of breaths. Gently start to bring yourself back onto the palms again, so lifting upright, and then we're bringing the IT band stretch from here. So lift up the back leg and your hips and slide this front leg out straight to your right, and then sit down onto the outer side of that leg. So keep the toes tucked at the back, so the back knee is floating, which is going to help the hips and shoulders twist round. Come forwards onto forearms, maybe holding here, and stack the fists in that 1 potato, 2 potato. You create a pillow for your head, or resting the head to cushion, any variations. If you're not getting the stretch around the outer thigh, shift the foot up closer towards your head, towards your shoulders side of the mat. Those of you that can work deeper into it, maybe coming onto the chest, the right hand can grab hold of the foot to keep it flexed, and forehead rests onto the back of the left hand. That is strong pose, so be mindful if you need to ease out, or keep some soft movements, or go deeper. Last couple of breaths. Gently come back onto the palms. Again, take your time. Slowly unthread that leg to come back into your downward dog. Give the legs a little paddle, the feet a wiggle. Then bring the knees to the mat. So either crossing the ankles and you can sweep over your feet, or bring the legs around to one side so the legs come out in front of you. Coming into Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together, knees open. Okay, this is entirely up to you again. So take the feet either further away or tuck them in towards your body. Okay, any tricky knees or hips feeling stiff, you can pad the knees out with cushions here for a little bit of extra support. Entirely wherever feels best. Holding onto the shins or the ankles, find height through your spine as you inhale. As you exhale, bow forwards, lead from the breastbone coming forwards first rather than the head. So if you can see your belly button, look forwards past the toes. That will help to bring the chest forwards. So depending where you've positioned your feet, either further away or closer, you may find that the elbows can rest in towards your inner thighs. So if they do, then press the elbows in towards the inner thighs and drag the muscles slightly from the groin towards the knees. So you create a little bit more space and lengthening through the tissue. Soften the shoulders. So notice if the shoulders are really hunched around your ears, try and let them go. Let go of the neck. Allow your head now to drop down, so the gaze may come towards the navel. Keep that sense of lengthening forwards through your back. Noticing each time you exhale, maybe there's some more release through back or hips or mind. Check back in with where your concentration is, your dharana. Is it with your thoughts? Is it with your breath, your body? Last 3 breaths. Slowly start to roll yourself back up again. Use the hands under the knees to then lift the knees back in towards each other. Flatten the feet to the floor and give your knees a gentle rock from one side to the other. From here, we're coming into more of a straddle posture. So you can sit yourself onto the cushions if you want to, just to help your lower back lengthen. So if you feel when you're sat in folds, if your bum starts to tuck under and the back starts to slump, put yourself onto cushions so that your hips are a little bit higher. It's going to help the hips and pelvis release a little bit further. So legs don't have to go too wide. You know your limits. I know some of you on here are super flexy, so take it as far as you want to. Hands to the floor in front of you. Take an inhale, bring the chest forwards and try and rock the tailbone back as though you're shifting your bum behind you. Then walking the hands forwards, and it's totally okay if your body just stays upright and that feels enough. So again, a really strong pose and really dependent on individual bodies, as in bone structure of your pelvis and how the hip sockets sit in that pelvis. Lots of different things determine flexibility through the hips. So be really kind to yourself. No need to force or struggle. Again, those of you that are more mobile, take the hands maybe to the calf muscles or the inner ankles and reach breastbone forwards to come down. Those of you, if you are still flat to the ground and want to take it further, if you grab hold of a block if you have one, or do this without block if you don't have one, so don't worry. The block is out in front of you, lift it up above you, and then reach that out so chest comes to the floor before the hands. That is too strong for me, so see how you feel. Just check where you are, that the knees haven't started to roll inwards. Try and use the toes to guide the knees backwards, so you keep a sense of slightly turning out the legs. If it starts to get a little bit strong, or you're struggling to keep that opening of the hips, come back out of it. Use the hands to guide the thighs back and lean back forwards again. Maybe keeping that soft swaying motion or just rolling the head. Soften any tension that's starting to build through the pose. You have about another 5 breaths, so allow yourself to either be more comfortable or go into it a little bit deeper. You choose. Slowly, after your next exhale, start to bring yourself back out of it again, lifting yourself back up. Scoop the hands under the knees and then bring the feet back to the floor. Okay, give the knees a gentle rock side to side. So I often kind of see with this one that the your straddle was explained about the kind of individual bodies building. There always seems to be this kind of ego residue that is kind of sticks in your brain after we've struggled through a fold, that we're not as deep as we want to be in. So really just let go of any ego residue in there. So bring yourself onto your backs, have your belt or your strap handy. Okay, and when you're down on the ground, bring the knees to your chest and take a little rock side to side. Just massage your back into the floor. Particularly after those folds, get into that lower back, just to roll it into the ground. And then bring the feet to the floor. Grab hold of the strap and let's take the right foot into the strap or your belt, whatever you have. If you don't have a strap or a belt, then hands around the back of the thigh works just fine for this too. Okay, wrap the strap around your hands if you have it and let the elbows drop into the waist so the arms completely switch off. So allow the ankle or the thigh to come towards the body just until you're feeling enough of the stretch. Again, no need to force, as we're going to hold here for a couple of minutes. So you'll use the weight of your leg just to lengthen the muscle tissue here. Without it feeling too active, just have a sense of slightly flexing the foot. So the big toe curls towards you and tailbone is reaching into the floor. So you create as much length through the back line of your leg as you can. Your left leg can either stay bent where it is, or maybe it reaches away from you, or somewhere in between. So you just be mindful again of where that leg feels best to be. Notice the breath moving into your belly. So as you exhale and the belly drops down, maybe there's more room for this right thigh to come towards the torso. Again, another pose that feels pretty good. So just bring some soft swaying or rocking into it if it starts to get a little bit intense or starts to grip anywhere. Have about another 3 full breaths. Just ease off the stretch. Take both sides of your strap into your right hand. So we're going to come back into an inner thigh stretch again. So let the right elbow rest to the floor next to you. And then allow the leg to reach out towards the right. So you're lengthening into this inner thigh. Okay, if your left leg is out straight, then kick out through that heel. If your left leg is bent, then let the bend of the knee drop out towards the left, just to help keep the pelvis feeling fairly centered. So again, there's no right or wrong, just decide where feels best for you. So your strap here is just supporting the weight of this foot reaching out, but keep a sense of it flexing, so the heel is pressing away from you, big toe curls back towards you slightly. And so the foot pushing into the strap. Stay with the breath. Just taking a last big breath in. And then use your exhale, use your bandhas, belly button to spine, lift the leg back up to the center. You're taking both sides of the strap into your left hand. So stay with this leg. Let the right arm reach out to the side. So similarly, take the left elbow to the floor at the side of you and let the leg drop out towards the left. So we did this same stretch lying on our front earlier. So kicking out through that heel, we should feel that same stretch around the outer side of your thigh, at this right side, into your IT band, hip, hamstring. Keeping the shoulders rooted to the floor. So the right side of your bum is lifted off the ground, but keep the right shoulder rooted. Big breath in. And use the exhale to bring the leg back to the center. Bend that knee, release the strap, take the right foot to the floor. Okay, bending the left knee towards your chest, take the foot into the strap or hands around the back of the thigh. We start with hamstring down the center line of the leg. So hands either side of your strap or around the back of the thigh. Find the hamstring. So again, your right leg that's on the floor can either stay bent or outstretched or somewhere in between. Slightly flexing left foot and using the exhale to draw the thigh towards you. There can absolutely be a bend in your left knee if that helps just to ease the pressure off the back of the knee. Maybe there's some soft movement, swaying or rocking really slowly, mindfully. Just check in with any tension building into your shoulders or your jaw or your forehead, or any stories catching hold of your mind. Stay with the breath, stay with the sensations of the body. The last full round of breath. Ease off the stretch. Take both sides of your strap into your left hand. Left elbow comes to the floor at the side of you, so we open into your inner thigh stretch, your adductor. Reach the heel away, kick the foot into the strap. And again, if your right leg is out straight, then keep extending through that heel. If your right leg is bent, let the knee drop out to the side. Right hand, just wherever it feels good to be. Just taking one more full breath. Soft bend in the knee if it helps. Bring the leg through the center. Take both sides of that strap into your right hand. Take a right elbow to the floor at the side of you and let the foot reach across to the right. So again, we find that same stretch we did on our belly earlier. Kicking out through the heel, reach out through the left hand. So again, we find that twist. So the left side of your hips is lifted, but the left shoulder is rooted. Slightly flexing that foot. Really extend out straight through the leg. Soften shoulders, jaw, forehead. And breathe deep. On your next exhale, soft bend in the knee if it helps. Bring the leg back to the center. Release the strap. Just place the strap down to one side and gently bring both knees in towards your chest. So keep the big toes slightly touching or close together, knees just slightly wider than your rib cage, and then hands around the shins, or maybe elbows around the shins, just to tuck them in. So like you're in an upside down child's pose. Really try to flatten as much of your back into the mat as you can. And maybe just holding in stillness, or maybe taking a soft, gentle rock side to side. Take a last full round of breath. And then bring the feet to the mats. Give the knees a gentle rock side to side there. Let that be as big or as small as you want to make it. Okay, and from here, I just invite you to take any last postures or stretches that you feel your body needs to feel comfortable. And then bring yourself into Shavasana, so legs out flat to the ground. You can place your cushions under your thighs if that helps. Does your back feel more comfortable? It does feel more comfortable, so take it if you have cushions in reach, or a cushion under your head, wherever you feel good to be. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades down your back a little bit further. Lengthen through the back of your neck without restricting your breath. If you're still noticing tension being held around the jaw or the face, just maybe give your mouth a big stretch wide. And scrunch up small. And again, stretch it wide. And scrunch it small. And then let your face feel floppy. So bring your awareness to your feet. See if you can allow them to feel a little bit softer or lighter. Bring your awareness to your calves and your knees. Can allow them to switch off with a sense of lightness. Soften your thighs, the glutes, the hips. So allow the weight of your pelvis to feel really anchored into the floor. Let that switch off the back. Allow the breath to move really softly through the abdomen so the organs stay relaxed. The weight of your shoulders drop heavier to the ground. The weight of your arms to drop into the floor. A lightness through the wrists, a lightness through the hands, the fingers, and the palms. Soften through the throat or the neck. The jaw, if it's started to build tightness again. Keeping your eyelids softly closed, but just soften the grip of them. Allow your gaze points, keeping the eyes closed, but just lift the gaze towards the center of your forehead, towards third eye space. Just notice how that relaxes your eyes into the sockets. Have a sense of the brain slightly deflating inside the skull. And allow the weight of your head to really drop into the floor. A sense of lightness at the crown of your head. A sense of peace through the body. In this blissful state of peace and rest, just bring to mind one thing that you can feel grateful for today. Acknowledge one thing that you like about yourself today. And recognize how getting to a yoga practice has served you in some way. How has it shifted your energy, your body, your mind? And just give yourself thanks for giving yourself the time to be here. I will leave you in Shavasana for as long as you wish to stay. So namaste. Thank you.